Welcome to the first ever solo coaching show on the podcast. This podcast has been going for 6 years now, and I've always had an interview at the beginning and coaching session at the end. But starting today, we're mixing it up. We're still going to have our Monday interviews, but we're adding this second show every week, with just you and me. So where I used to give you a coaching segment and recommendations at the end of a long Monday episode, now we get our own show. Some days I'm going to have something for you that's 5 minutes long. Some days I'm going to have something that's even longer. Today is one of those little bit longer days. So every week it'll be you and me. I'll be teaching you. I'll be coaching you just like I do with my clients and my team. I'll be giving you recommendations about products I love and things I'm not loving right now. Apparently I'm famous for saying collagen powder tastes like sucking on horse hooves. I did find one that I like, and I will be recommending that in the future. But today, this first solo show, this is all about how to discover the life-changing power of boosting your optimism. Whether you have a little bit, whether you're a natural pessimist, whether you have lots of optimism, this is something we want to boost. So let's get into it. I believe that only those who believe they can make a difference can truly make a difference, right? This applies to big dreams. It applies to daily achievements. Optimism is a powerful force. One of the most important things I do with my family, as well as my team when I'm running my companies, is to make sure that I'm always coming from a place of optimism. Because if I don't believe what I'm saying, and if I don't provide a hopeful vision for people, how can I expect other people to get behind me? You know what I mean? To trust me, to go, okay, she knows what she's doing. Let's go in that direction. Whether it's my kids or my team, it's up to me as the mom leading kids or as a leader of my teams to cast that vision. It's up to me as a coach to see things in my clients that maybe they haven't even seen for themselves yet. And all these situations, they call people to more. Yes, you can get an A on that test, right? Yes, you can write that book with my clients. Yes, you could be CEO of the company one day. Now, I'm not saying that I'm hyping people up and they don't have any way to achieve these things. Not at all. I'm saying I see the ability in people. I see the potential. I believe it for them, and I'm optimistic that they can do it. I think the truth is sometimes it is easier to see that in other people than to see it for ourselves, right? That's why it's so important that we have a coach. It's why it's so important that we have a mentor, because we're all in the forest wondering where in the world the trees are. In our daily lives, developing optimism will help us, though. It'll help us set and achieve new goals. Whether you're trying to get in shape or start a new hobby or improve your relationships, believing in yourself, believing in your goals, and having a pessimistic attitude won't go together. But believing in yourself and believing in your goals and developing that optimism muscle, that's going to get you where you want to go. And not only that, when you model this belief for other people in your family, your colleagues at work, people you're leading, they will get behind you too. As you go about your day, any day, how you present yourself sets the tone for those around you. When you walk in a room, at work, or at home, people will look at your expressions and your micro expressions, the expressions you don't even realize you're making, and your body language, and they will feel it. They'll pay attention. They'll also want to see how you feel and where you stand on things. This stuff happens all the time, so it's important that we're intentional. It's important that we're developing in ourselves. Even if you don't want to be at work that day, or you slept badly the night before, or your back hurts, or you're in an argument with your husband, you get to decide how you show up. You get to decide the energy that you bring to the situation. You decide the tone, and you can allow positivity or negativity. You really do have that power. It is a muscle that you develop. It is a mindset that you develop. It does not come naturally. If we default to what comes naturally, we will all be pessimistic and we will all be negative. I mean, that's how it works. But in life, it is your job to meet the moment, to take that extra step and to watch how the atmosphere improves because you've worked on yourself. It is really important to think about the types of people that you spend the most time with, right? You want to make sure that when you have a choice, because you don't always have a choice, I get that you're surrounding yourself with people who are more positive and are more optimistic. Now, what do we do when we don't have a choice? I get it. Maybe the person you share an office with is a grouch, or you have a teenager that only grunts for communications with you, right? We can't change that magically, but where we do have a choice, we do want to choose to be around people who are more positive, who are more optimistic. Let's talk about daily life. I mean, realistically, what does it look like in daily life? I want to give you some examples. Working out. Imagine you decide you're going to start a new workout routine. At first, it's super hard. You're sore, your progress is slow, but if you believe in yourself, if you believe if I do these things, these results will happen, you can visualize your goal and you can keep showing up. Over time, you're going to get strong, you're going to see gains, you're going to see changes, right? But for people who start working out and they let negativity win, they're going to kneecap themselves before they ever get a chance to feel good and see those tiny changes. They're going to tell themselves the story that it's too hard, that it takes too much time, and if they were going to see results, they would have seen results by now, right? I have been that person saying that. As somebody who has been working out constantly since last September, I mean, almost a year now. Yeah, a year now. I can tell you that it took me 6 months before I saw any result whatsoever. If I had constantly played the soundtrack in my head of, if this was going to work, it would have worked now. I'm tired of being sore. This isn't helping at all. If I had done that, there's no way I would be where I am today. We always want it faster than it's going to happen, right? But if we listen to the soundtrack of, if this was going to work, it would have worked by now, which we do with getting in shape or transforming our relationships or building a business or writing a book. If we listen to that soundtrack, we're never going to do anything. This is why optimism is so important. Optimism matters because developing it will give you more tenacity and strength. If you believe it's possible, you will solve problems rather than giving up at the first hurdle that comes your way. I'll give you an example from people who have come to me for potential coaching. Someone who wanted to start a small business but constantly doubted themselves. They had a great idea, but they were always focused on how hard it is, what could go wrong, and why is it taking so long? Why is it taking so long is the death of so many dreams. Everything takes a long time, right? What ends up happening is because of this, they never take the leap. They fear failure at every step, and they're too nervous or too pessimistic to believe in themselves and believe in the plan. And what happens is years later, they look back with regret, seeing other people who took a chance and took a risk and succeeded, but their lack of optimism held them back and they missed out on what could have been an amazing, life-changing experience. We do this in relationships. If you go into a relationship and you haven't dealt with your stuff, maybe it's relationship trauma for real, and you go into a relationship, it could be a friendship, it could be a romantic relationship, you go into it constantly fearing that you're going to be betrayed, you will kneecap that relationship because instead of viewing things with a default to optimism, you'll view it with a default to pessimism, and that is toxic to any relationship. So the next question is, how do we build our optimism muscle, right? I am so glad that you asked. I'm going to give you 5 honestly, legitimate, easy tips to build optimism in your life. Ready? Honestly, easy. This show, everything I talk about, I want to make it easy to make changes. So when you hear 5, don't roll your eyes. Stay with me. Number 1, make peace with the fact that sometimes life will just suck. It will. And I'm an optimist. I've worked hard for an optimistic perspective. This is something that I've cultivated through the years. Life still sucks in different seasons for me. It just does. There's no getting around it. I write entire books about seasons of my life that sucks. Things aren't always going to go well, and you are going to have tough times. That's life. All strong, optimistic people have challenges, but they believe in their vision. They believe that God has a good plan for them. They believe in their own strength because they've seen themselves overcome everything in life up until that point. They find a way, and so can you. We're not putting on rose-colored glasses here. We know that sometimes life sucks, and that's okay. We will get through it. We've gotten through everything else in the past, and we can get through this. Number 2, I want you to examine what you surround yourself, not just who, but what. I want you to be intentional. What's in your environment? What are you listening to? What are you reading? What are you watching? Who are you surrounding yourself with? Now, yes, we all deal with problems, but we don't want to make life harder by stacking negativity on top of negativity, right? Is your life happier by following more politics every day? No, shut it off for real. Surround yourself with things that will keep you positive. Your outputs are only as good as your inputs. Make them high quality. Make sure everything that you're taking in, the environment you're around, the information you're around, the music that you're around, make sure it's high quality. Make sure it is stuff that will lean you to a more positive attitude, not a more pessimistic. Number 3, I want you to start recognizing your wins. One of the things I do with my clients is I make them fill out a journal before each session, and I make them give me 3 wins or 3 successes that they've had. Crazy thing is, most clients, when we start working together, they go, I can't remember the last time I ever even thought about something that I did well, right? It is amazing how we can't naturally think of things. We can think of 10,000 things we did wrong, right? That's just going to help our pessimism. I want you to start recognizing your wins every day. You could do it at the end of the day. You could do it at the beginning of the following day. What are my 3 wins? What was I successful at today? You not only want to practice gratitude, you want to practice counting your wins, because that's where confidence comes from. You start stacking those wins on top of each other, and you wake up one day and you go, what do you know? I'm the kind of woman that gets stuff done. What do you know? I'm not doing a bad job here, right? Because if we let our brains just flow naturally, we're going to flow to pessimism. We're going to flow to overthinking. We're going to flow to beating ourselves up. This is the way out of that. Number 4, I want you to partner with God. I want you to ask God to transform you in this way, to turn down the volume on negativity and pessimism and turn up the volume on optimism. God can completely change lives and hearts. So why do we not think that over time we could partner with him and he will completely transform our lives in this way? It's not going to happen overnight, but the same spirit that raised Jesus from the dead lives in us, and that spirit is more than capable of helping us to become more optimistic in life. Amen? Amen. Number 5, don't get stuck letting your emotions always run the show. When you're stuck in a negative mood or a spiral, do something physically to shift your mood. Take a walk, get outside, listen to worship music, pray, whatever it is for you that will move your body, get something going, get some sunlight. If it's a great time of year, talk to the Lord, listen to great music, get out of your space, get out of your headspace. Don't get stuck in a down spiral. Right? So those are the 5 things. Again, they're not hard things. They're small habits that if we change things, it can change so much in our life. Because no matter where you are right now in life, you could be full of optimism. You could be middle of the road or even kind of pessimistic. You can increase your optimism. I want you to start with these little habits. And again, over time, they're going to build and build and build. We're dialing up the optimism and we're dialing down the pessimism. This is not only going to help you feel better, but it'll help you be more successful in life, and that will benefit everyone around you. Because the truth is, the world is full of loud pessimists, but the world is built by optimists. This is why we want to build this muscle in ourselves. This is why we're building the optimism in ourselves. Okay, now let's talk about recommendations. What am I loving this week? First thing, if you're watching on YouTube, you can hear it. If you're listening, you can hear the crinkle in the background. This is an IQ bar. I love these. This is chocolate sea salt. They're high protein. They're all natural. They're dairy free. I am super limited on what I can eat when I'm traveling because 1, I eat keto. 2, I'm dairy free. I mean, there's just so much. This summer was the summer of travel and fun and theme parks. I did 9 theme parks this summer, most with my kids, did some with my team, did a client trip. So I was everywhere. You can't just eat on the road when you don't eat gluten and you don't eat dairy and you're keto, right? It's crazy. So I buy these IQ bars in bulk and I love them. There's not a flavor that I don't love. Chocolate sea salt's really good. There's a peanut butter one that I love. If you are vegan, if you're keto, if you're just trying to get more healthy protein in your diet and more fiber, It's great. There's 12 grams of protein and 8 grams of fiber, which is super, super important. I love these so much. Even when I'm not traveling, I eat one every day, especially handy if you have a sweet tooth and health is a priority for you. Now, 2 recommendations this week. The other one is a beauty product. You know I love beauty products, and you know I'm kind of a beauty product snob. I always say don't buy it at the grocery store. It's just not going to look as good as the expensive stuff. Pay a few dollars more. You're going to look a lot better, especially with foundation, because you know that grocery store foundation is orange. Like the texture's not good. We're going to talk more about that later. But I did find this powder at the grocery store. I don't even know how to say the brand, NYX. It is delightful. Is it NYX? Is it NYX? I don't know. I could have Googled it, but it's more fun just to go with it. It's HD Studio Photogenic Finishing Powder. It's completely clear, it's translucent, and it just blots up excessive oil. So this is a duplicate of Makeup Forever's high def translucent powder, which I love and is super, super expensive. I tend to get one of those and it lasts me about 5 years. But this, the super affordable one that I just get in our Walmart grocery delivery order, I'd imagine it's everywhere if Walmart has it. I probably go through one of these a month. Now, I realize for kids, like the glass skin thing is in. But for me, as a 48-year-old woman, it just looks greasy and shiny. I don't want glass skin. I want the oil absorbed. So if you don't want to look like you're wearing an oil slick on your face, HD powder is a perfect way to give your face a great touch up and super, super affordable. Another thing I think I love it even more than the IQ bars and the face powder, is the fact that you're here. You're here with me. I hope you're enjoying the new format. I'm nervous about the new format. Will you enjoy it? I don't know. If you do, let me know. If you like the show at all and you've never left a review on Apple Reviews, would you leave a review? That is one of the ways that Apple will start showing it to more people. They'll recommend it to more people by how often people leave reviews and if they're reviews. So you don't have to say anything amazing, but you can fit in somehow that I have a tail. It doesn't matter what you say, as long as you don't say that it's terrible. If you want to say that it's terrible, please don't. But feel free, have some fun with it. Feel free to mention casually that I have a tail. But seriously, I do love doing this. I'm at this over 6 years now because I love the time that we have together. This is an investment in us, in our spiritual health, in our emotional health, and our professional success, because it doesn't just benefit us, it benefits everyone in our lives. And I believe in what's inside of you. I believe in your dreams, and I know you're making an impact on this world for good. That's why you're here every week. You're learning something that's going to help you get healthier, to live the life that God has for you, and improve life just a little bit every day. What I know to be true is God has created you to stand strong and bring something unique and special to this world that only you can bring. And I love that I get to coach you and equip you every week, now twice a week. So keep stepping up, keep showing up, keep loving well, because you know the truth. You cannot break a woman who gets her strength from God. I hope you have a great day, and I'll talk to you again soon. Pausing. Here, we're recording. I recorded this whole episode already once and then found out later I wasn't recording. So, welcome to the first ever. I'm too far away from my mic, aren't I? Not bad. I'm out.